It's not even his sister. Hey, we're live, pal. We're
What's up?
live. What's happening? Yo, 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 yo. Y'all know what it is. No need for us to get into all the small talk. It's the most high with CT Bang. My nigga all on his
What's
phone
up?
watching Con. He too busy looking at Jay right
I'm
now.
looking. I'm actually looking at Maxine Dupree. I'm just actually trying to see what she really looks like. She's actually pretty. She's pretty dope. She's pretty dope. Not sure how old she is, but I was definitely looking at Jerry a little while ago. Cut a promo on Harley Quinn, for sure.
But we ain't talking about none of that shit. This is a quick review from our point of view of Death Before Dishonor, something that we paid for, man. We didn't even pirate this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
no, we're moving on up. We actually pay for these things now. When you actually put a
yeah,
good card out, we'll actually put down that money and
for
show
sure.
some love for wrestling. Everything is wrestling. You definitely want to support good wrestling. So ROH deserved that tonight. It's a great card, and they delivered.
They did, man. Let's start off with the surprise of the night, right? I would say the opener. First of all, I did not think that the world title would be the opener. So that was pretty spectacular and
After
amazing.
watching what you watched, the 30-minute thing of like the promos going into that performance honor, I watched that after last show, and I knew immediately that the tag team were gonna main event the show. Like, there's no way after the way they set that up. I was like, this is gonna be the main event. But the fact that it's the opener, I mean, either if you're the world championship, you either gotta be the opener or closer. You cannot be in between. You can't do that.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now I did not watch the. I missed the first match, so you tell me more about it because I was a little shocked from what you told me that it was kind of quick. How long did it go?
Well, I don't have the time, but give me 1 second. But what I will say is that I think it was if it was over 20, it was like right under like right above 20. But if it was, I want to say it was probably under 20 minutes if I'm not mistaken. Like, but let me check. I may be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, all in all, I will say this. Jonathan Gresham showed exactly why he was Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion during that match. He was just phenomenal. It went 11 minutes. 11 minutes. The opener, the World Heavyweight Championship match went 11 minutes, and it was the second shortest match on the card. The shortest match was the match following it. Dalton Castle and the boys won the six.
Okay.
So this world heavyweight, and that was surprising to me. It was surprising to me. Um, Me and Rich, shout out to the big homie Rich. Rich was over here helping me take care of some stuff for the house. And with that being said, he stayed around to kind of watch a little bit of the show. And it was like 8:07. When did I text? Hold on. When did I text you? When did I text you? Give me 1 sec. I'm just about to see if I got a good time recognition of when I converse with you. I hit you at uh I hit you at 7
7:33.
7:33, and then at 7:50 we confirmed. By 8:17 that match was over.
It was over. I was like,
By
all right, I'm in the middle of a
8:17
Madden match, and I'm like, all right, once this Madden game's over, I'm gonna tune in. I'm thinking that the show doesn't start until maybe an hour later or maybe 30 minutes. The freaking world title is already done. I turn in. Cesaro's running around with the championship. I'm like, okay, I missed the first match, but I'm happy he got his first world championship. So good for him. But yeah, I'm kind of like disappointed that Gresham didn't get a longer reign. We'll see how he go where he moves from now. Now, granted, we'll see how Tony Khan positions him because I think he's a supreme talent. Honestly,
Well, I will say this, right? Let's just talk about it. We can kind of get into a little bit unfiltered conversation tomorrow on the Patreon, but I will like to say this: the fact that the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Jonathan Gresham and the Ring of Honor 6-man champions, Shane Taylor promotion. I don't like how this is starting off. Just gonna say that. I ain't going.
I
I'm
hear
not
you.
putting no
Yeah.
implications on. But the people that held that company afloat to have it be something of an acquisition.
Even Jay Lethal, think about it, you know?
Listen, man. What I'm saying is that to give your world heavyweight champ, like you treated him like it was a Brock Lesnar match, my nigga. 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Jonathan Gresham's the best technical wrestler in the world, right? 10, 11 minutes, bro. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I was shocked that I tuned in and I was like, all right, it's already.
And then Dalton Castle and the boys versus whoever the fuck for the 6-man like where is the niggas, bruh? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where my niggas at? Where my niggas at, bruh? ROH is looking
I,
real niggaless.
I'm going to say, like, out of, you got Jay Lethal, you got Gresham, obviously. I want to see more. I want to see Shane Taylor promotions on TV somewhere. If I was Triple H, I'm getting them right now. Before anybody gets a hold of them. However,
Shit, they
you
had
know,
anybody. You talking about anybody else? Shit, anybody else that had time by now.
it's
When
true. It's
WWE
true.
scoop them niggas up, it's not gonna be on nobody else. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. Honestly, I don't get why they're not taken, but I mean, Cesaro's champ now. Nonetheless, I think he does have a higher name value than Gresham, so I'm not gonna shit on the decision. Obviously, I do. I mean, well, I can't keep calling him Cesaro. I gotta call him Cat Claudio. But Claudio, yeah, he's obviously a guy who people have been waiting to see him hold a championship, a world championship. So yeah, if I didn't see the match, so I can't comment on the match per se. But if you're telling me that it was that short, I think that they deserve more than that. I think that you could have
I
cut some
mean,
of the.
especially when you talk about the last two matches of Jonathan Gresham, high quality matches that we wanted to see. Lee Moriarty given away on free TV and was done by not honorable, right? He won with a like nefariously, which is not something that we know Jonathan Gresham to be of. And then a match with Claudio that was listen, it was quick enough to where I thought Jonathan Gresham was in control of the match. We did one swing, and then I'm like, oh, like no, we're not going on the ride. Like that's the end of the ride. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
So I will say like I was a tad bit disappointed in that. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand that it wasn't the main event, and that's probably. But I wanted if that's the case, then we should run it back. Because I think that the match does deserve more time, and we can get to see more from Gresham. Even if gets defeated, I do think that he deserves more time than that. And if there wasn't that ride, then yeah, that match can hit a fever pitch if you allow it to. I do
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
Um, Moving on, you had a Dalton Castle triples
yeah. But
match.
we
And
can
shit.
actually move
I
on from.
that was the next match. I will just say that it wasn't that bad. It was a filler match. It wasn't that bad. I think that obviously we don't know who you don't know who they are. I don't know much about them either, but clearly people do, and I think that it was for what it was. It was entertaining. Put it that way. Um, there are some spots in there that I'd like to put it that way.
Yeah,
Now move,
I'm not gonna shit on the
yeah,
performance.
yeah,
I'm not even gonna shit on the
because
performance.
that's where that was the first match I actually watched. So I was like, all right, let me actually just tune in and just let's see it for what it is, But yeah, it was all right, But let's move past that. Um, Now we get to the pure championship, right?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was too short.
I thought that was dope. I thought the way that they handled it was dope. Like
Oh yeah, I love
they
the
really
match.
wrestle.
I love that. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I like that. I just again when they did the exchange, we got one rope break. I thought we would have been able to kind of see a little bit of more tussle back and forth.
I
Once
thought so too, but right, the fact that they kept it on one rope break, and I've seen other pure matches where they've exhausted the rope break throughout every single match. I like that we see a match where they respected the rope break and we didn't use it unless we fucking needed it, and they used it at a moment that he needed it. It took all like 20 minutes, like it was a while,
it was
before you
they had
got
a 15-minute match.
15. All right,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
was a while before we got the first rope break, and then subsequently right after that, he spit in his face, and then outsmarted him, got him in the pin quick, and he out wrestled Dan Garcia and pinned him. Wheeler Yuta, man, I'm telling you, man, he's getting more and more my respect, and I knew he was gonna come out victorious. Once I hear Dan Garcia talking about destroying the championship, I'm like, all right, this is not happening. Like, and then on top of that, Cesaro winning earlier in the night, I was like, all right, we're gonna get Blackpool Comic Club with all the titles. Only person without a championship is gonna be Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. See, I keep doing it. And I think that we will have John Moxley.
Did not say Danielson versus Samoa Joe.
You did say that. That's true. You did say that. So speaking of, we had Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal. Actually, we had two other matches, but we can talk about this real quick.
Yeah,
Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal. I thought it was a really good match too. Every single match that I watched, like honestly, it was a good show overall. Like I can't hate on not one match. Like literally not one match. And I still didn't watch the main event, which I'm gonna go back and watch it and give you my takes on it maybe on Thursday or something. But
or what?
as a on the main event. I mean, not the main event, the World Championship match. But
Okay, yeah.
everything else, like it hit for me. Roosh and Dragon Lee, um, Mercedes Martinez and Serena Deeb.
I would like to comment on that real quick, just because we're flashing by it.
I don't
Roosh and
want to. I was just mentioning the names, but we'll go
okay,
back to it. Um, but I was thinking that like those are matches that were in the middle of the card, and you would think that there was maybe be a downtime. There was no downtime in this card. That's what I'm trying to say. But speaking of like Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe, it was good, entertained. I think Samoa Joe still got it, man. Like that's what I took away from that match. Samoa Joe still fucking got it, man, and he's still super athletic. He's still faster. He might not be as in shape as he used to be back in the TNA days. It doesn't matter. This dude is strong. He's still fast, and he's still fluid in his movements. Like so, he won the match. In a way. And I think that Jay Lethal plays a great character with what he's doing right now as a
yes,
heel.
that's exactly. I mean, and Jay couldn't really do too much because he got the last match with Flair and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't exert too much energy against Samoa Joe. But I like the story that they told. I like the fact that Samoa Joe retained because it was necessary. This was again, Jay Lethal is a wonderful performer. I mean, listen, Jay Lethal again. Here we go. We're talking about it. Jay Lethal trained Ric Flair to be in his last match, and then now he's wrestling Ric Flair because he trusts him to be in his last match. And then Samoa Joe is trusting Jay Lethal to be in his return match. Like there are a lot of things that Jay Lethal is putting on his back and on his shoulder, and he carrying that motherfucker like a G. So shout out to Jay
Yeah,
Lethal.
and Jay Lethal's professional, man, and he knows his character when he's out there. I thought he was gonna win, honestly, but to see Samoa Joe take the victory, I was happy to see him pull it out. Going to the two other matches, the Roosh and Dragon Lee match, all go the entire time. I like these are two brothers,
Two real
and
life brothers.
two real life brothers. Great match. I was rooting for Dragon Lee, honestly, to be honest with you. I like Roosh, Lawson Iguanables, but Dragon Lee, I haven't seen much of him. And as the match kept going on, I grew more and more of a fan of him. He's a super, obviously, athlete. He's in great shape, and I'm like, all right, this guy, I want to see more of him. And as the younger brother, I think he's the younger brother, right?
Yeah,
As a younger brother, I want to see him pull out the victory over his older brother, just to see like that for storytelling purposes. But Rouge was able to, play into some sympathy and pull out the victory. And I like the storytelling in it.
the reason why I have brought up that match is because I thought that also went 15 minutes. So if that went 15 minutes, Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia went 15 minutes, and your World Heavyweight Championship went damn near like almost 12 minutes. I need the disparity because Roosh and Dragon Lee can go, right? They can sprint. You can give them 11 minutes and
Yeah.
they can still do what they did in 11 minutes, have a little bit more tighter, a little less room for breathing, and then boom, sprint of a match. But you give that 15 minutes, you give that opening 15 minutes to the World Heavyweight Championship. That's when I'm watching that match, I thought that match was dragging to me. And looking at the time now, I'm like, wow, okay, I really felt that in real
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. If
I,
there was a
I,
match that was dragging, it was that because they were going, and then there were some moments that they had some spots that were dope. Um, I agree with you. You make a good point. I do think that there's time that could have been shared. Give a couple minutes from the Roosh Dragon Lee match. Now, as for the pure championship match, I would have kept it the way it was. But from the Roosh Dragon Lee match, absolutely, you could have gave him like 3 minutes.
well, I use that in comparison because literally, it was, according to Wikipedia, even I don't know, Wikipedia. My professor always says not a trusted source, but I use that motherfucker. The pure championship match and Roosh and Dragon Lee match were only 5 seconds difference. 15:55 for the pure championship, 15:50 for Dragon Lee and Roosh. And you can't have those two neck and neck and your world championship is lagging. If that's the case, give me Wheeler Yuta how it is, and like you said, keep it that way. But give me those extra minutes on the back end for Claudio and Jonathan to really
I
let
agree.
this shit sit in. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree. Yeah.
um,
Well, let's go. Let's move on to what I thought was one of the matches of the night. Um, yo, Mercedes and Serena D killed it. Like they
yeah,
tore it down. Like
yeah.
technical. They were hard nosed fighting. Yo,
The
get into
psychology, the psychology
psychology,
of it all.
the finishers. Oh my goodness! Like the different ways they executed submission maneuvers, I thought was fascinating, bro. Like I can't even explain them because they were so unique. You
and
know,
and this is what I loved about the. This is why we love football, we love boxing, we love UFC sometimes because styles make fights. You don't really have that in basketball or soccer and shit like that. Like if it's dominating, if one thing can exploit something, it's exploited. But
yeah,
styles make fights, and I never really saw Martinez really get after it submission base wise before, to my knowledge, right? And I don't follow a lot of
not since the
Mercedes
May
Martinez,
Young Classic, I haven't seen her this good. I'll be
and
honest with you.
but but what I also loved about it was when Serena we watched the 30 minutes, right? Mercedes picked up on what Serena was doing very quickly. It was like,
Hmm.
okay, bitch, you think you know me, but you have no idea. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah, yeah.
you think I'm coming in going to be aggressive? I'm gonna be brute. I'm gonna come out my power. I'm gonna get after you.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, I'm gonna wrestle your game and submitted Serena D, my
Yeah,
nigga. So
tapped her up, man. That was ill, man. I thought that Serena had this victory, and to see Martinez, I was happy at the end of it all because it was just a great match. It was literally my second best match on the night. It was my match on the night until I saw the main event. But if you go back and watch it, this it's hand in hand up against any other match on the card, or even better, in my opinion. So both
no,
women,
I
hats
mean,
off and
yeah, it's
taps off to you.
they got it. They got it. Honestly, I will say they got to be tied for match of the night. And the only reason why I say
Okay.
tied is because yeah, you give the two greatest tag teams, top two of the top five greatest tag teams of the last 10 years, 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna kill it. You know what I'm saying like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
like that.
feel
That's
it.
a
Yeah,
no brainer. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Especially 2 out of 3 falls match. A fall here, a fall here.
Hmm.
You get bleeding. And all. Yes, that's gonna be match of the night. But you
You
give
pretty much are handing them and gifting the match of the night when you give them that much time. But how much time did the woman have? Serena Deeb and Mercedes.
they went 17 minutes.
17 minutes. They killed every minute of it. It was great, man. I don't have any much more to say. I think that there was some she got dropped on her head a couple of times, Serena. Like, but like, and it looked vicious, man. Like they were going in. They weren't holding back.
I love Serena. I love the fact that Serena and Mercedes got this opportunity, especially knowing the backstory between the two, right?
Mhm.
Necessarily building
Absolutely.
and being the foundation of Ring of Honor, Women's Division, Women of Honor, and now having a championship to actually fight over rather than like fighting to get girls over and women over TV time and
Yeah,
women
or get
professional
a
wrestling. Like, no,
character
nigga, we
over.
having
Nah.
nah, nigga, this is a championship battle. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that yeah, that was a
And they
great.
both are veterans, like in the game for a while, and
Yep.
they deserve it. Like they've been. I don't think they each one. I don't think either one of them have had the spotlight in any like company they've been in. Like you are the lady that we are putting behind. So to give them both this on this big pay per view they're having for ROH, bringing the company back under the AMW umbrella, like Tony Khan umbrella, it's an important moment for the women. It really is to put those two girls out there. That means something. Not girls, women, Mercedes and Serena Deeb, professionals and veterans in the game. The one's called the professor. For a reason and Mercedes Martinez is just as long in the game, working for all types of companies on her way up. So they killed it. So yeah, absolutely. Tie for match of the night. I'm with you, bro.
Shout out to my wife. She had Texas her ass eavesdropping like a motherfucker. Heard me talking about Serena, and I'm like, yo, she like late, mid to late 30s, early 40s, and she was like, she 40. And I'm like, Serena not 40. Serena's 36. I had already looked it up. Well, she sent it to me. I'm sorry. I knew she was,
Okay.
but Mercedes is 41. So you got
Yeah.
36-year-old woman, 41-year-old woman. Mercedes is AJ Styling out here, my nigga.
Yo, and they both look great. They both look like they don't look like they're
Their
completely
age, they don't look
their
like
age. They
their age.
don't. They both look fantastic.
You know what I'm saying? So
So shout out to them, man. They're killing the game.
absolutely,
They really do like feel like they're showing these young girls, okay, this is how you do it. This is how
yeah,
you put on a classic match.
this is how
Yeah.
you put on and if anybody's coming into this realm, this is how you got it.
ROH, this is the bar. Like you guys got to come and raise it to this level. This ain't
Yep,
AEW. This ain't Dynamite. This ain't Rampage. This ain't WWE and NXT. Whatever they're doing, this is ROH, and this is a standard.
that was great. And
Yeah.
you want to talk about standard? Let's talk about tag team wrestling. The standard right now.
Ooh, is that a peak? Is that a
It's
fever
it's not,
pitch?
it's not even in Ring of Honor. No disrespect, but it is in Ring of Honor by default. But the real standard of professional wrestling, tag team professional wrestling, is FTR, man.
I mean, it isn't Ring of Honor, man. Like, think about it. Their best matches have been in ROH with the Briscoes this year.
Ooh,
This right now, and you can talk. I mean, the crowd was with them, but it could have been even more um, dramatic. I think the crowd could have. I think maybe they might have gotten tired over some time, but this was an awesome match from beginning to end, storytelling wise, the actual physicality of it, the near falls. If you know these two teams, the finishers they have, you never knew when it was going to end. You really didn't. And the way they played off of the finishers and each at any given moment, I was like, all right, is this going to be the fall? Oh, it's not. Okay. Wow, we still going. We still going. Wow, we're still going. I'm like, wow, they're going to go an hour. I was sitting here thinking like they just might go an hour and 45 minutes to give to a tag team match in the main event. Hallelujah. I've been praying for this. This is what I want. I want a tag team wrestling to get the respect it deserves at some company, whether NXT, AEW, ROH finally does it and gives them a main event spot. I think they deserve it. And they actually went out there and put on a show. You got Dax Harwood bleeding on the chest from the chops. They weren't holding back, and I think that a lot of we're gonna give FTR a lot of love, obviously, but you gotta give the love to the Briscoes. They are not on this level without the Briscoes. And
whoa.
go ahead.
I wanted, I didn't want to interrupt you, and I wanted you to get all your shit off so I can just come in and be like, this ain't even FTR's best 2 out of 3 falls match.
Who was it? Who was it with?
DIY.
Okay, That's an opinion. That's
And
you can have that.
I didn't
That's
want to
fair.
I didn't want to shit on the parade, but when you were saying,
I
but
think the FTR's match with DIY is definitely classic. It's not this. It wasn't war. They went to war
no,
tonight.
it wasn't no, it
There was
was
more
it,
storytelling in that for
it,
sure.
and now and that's why I didn't want to do too much of the comparison shopping. That's why I wanted to
Yeah,
stop
I got
myself,
you.
and
Hmm.
that's why I didn't want to like hot take mania. But I did want to, if we're putting it in the vacuum, and I didn't want to be prisoner of the moment and say FTR doesn't. I think FTR brings who they are and brings the best out of Briscoes, because outside of we've seen the Briscoes have great matches with the Bucks too, right? Like, so we
Hmm.
can't just say the
We've
Briscoes
seen the
is
Briscoes have great matches with the Briscoes. Like they just one on one with each other. Like they've had great matches against each other. Like they're those dudes that can go out there and put on a great match. Like, and whether they're singles or tag team. And what I liked about this is that it felt like each brother like had a bond, and they're calling out their brother, the psychology in it, the how they had isolated Dax Hardware for a good 15 minutes. It felt like it probably wasn't that long, but it
no,
felt
but
like they
honestly, no. They did that twice. They did it to Cash too, and they
uh-huh.
did it both in. They did it both in back-to-back falls. So the first
Yeah.
fall, I remember what you said. They had Cash, and then they got the hot tag. Dax came in, and boom, Dax took the finisher, landed on his neck, and then that nigga got isolated again, starting the second fall. It was
Yeah.
like, nigga, get help, brother, get help. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it was
Like,
awesome, man. If you were following the way they were going with the match, there was clearly tag psychology in it, and that's what I appreciated. And then when it got to like the end where they're really tired and all that shit, they're asking like their brother for help and shit. Like, yo, they're calling spots out loud, like, yo, come over here and do this. Because they're like, let's finish this shit. Let's go. You know? I felt hard for Cash Wheeler when he took that bump through the table, or not through the table, when he dumped the um I think was a
it was a
not Jay Briscoe,
it was
the other one.
Mark.
Mark Briscoe. He
Mark.
dumped Mark Briscoe through the table. He hit nothing, and he just slammed himself from the top rope to the damn floor on the concrete, flat back body. He looked like he hurt himself, but that was the last bump he took of the night, and he was gone. But even the finish, with Jay Briscoe putting him into, I forget what he calls his finisher, but it's like a double armed pedigree into like a pile driver thing, but they flipped it up, picked him up, ended up putting him on the top rope, flipping him over, and then hitting him with a pile driver off the top rope. So exhausted that he couldn't make the pin. He had to turn him over with his legs, pin him with his leg, and even that little touch right there, I thought was a cool ending to a finish of a match because of the obviously long drawn out match they just had. The blood added to the match to me. I know that some people are not fan of the blood or it doesn't add anything to it. I think that when you have somebody getting cut up on their chest because they're getting chopped, it adds something to
I mean,
to
that's
the
real. I
realism
mean,
of it.
that's not,
Yeah,
you can't blade that, nigga. Like, those is just hard ass. Like that shit we've been looking for Walter to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I hear you on that. Like, that adds elements because I mean, Jay and Mark, them some big motherfuckers, bro.
they are. Yeah,
They were towering over them niggas, right? So the extend and the reach they say one nigga got a size 14 boot. So what the fuck size that nigga hand is slapping across your motherfucking chest,
yeah.
man?
And they weren't like giving themselves up. It wasn't like they did. It felt like when they started the match, they weren't like wrestling a wrestling match. It wasn't choreographed. It felt like they were actually trying to fight and prove I'm the best tag team out there, even though they're gonna eventually, take a shoulder bump, knock the guy down, and whatever it may be, or take a punch, guy falls down. I felt like when the match started, the Briscoes were asserting their dominance, like for sure, and I loved it, every step of the way. So shout out to the Briscoes. They keep saying, "Oh, they got a long-term ROH contract, so they'll be tag team champions again in the future." But
Yep.
they deserve all the credit in the world for giving them this platform because I think FTR has risen to this level through these matches with the Briscoes. And obviously they've had great matches in AEW as well. No shame to any other tag teams there, but you need that foil, that other tag. Like what's going on in WWE with the Usos and Street Profits? You need that other tag team. You aren't shit until you get that B side or whatever it is that elevates you. And they got that in the Briscoes this year.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair and true. To be honest, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I can't disagree with you on
But yeah, all in
that.
all,
Brother,
great show. Great show,
it
man.
was a great show. This was a great review. As y'all can see, I'm I'm about higher than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna wrap this up. 30 minutes. I said I was gonna keep them on a timer. We are on a timer. Thank you guys for tapping in. This is a little something for the algorithm. I'll
Shout
put
out
that
to
in
the
the
algorithm.
I'll put that in the description. They're like, what is the description? Something for the algorithm.
Shout out to the algorithm. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for subscribing and supporting Eagles of Wrestling. All is love. Everything's wrestling. We'll see y'all tomorrow on the Patreon. $5 a month. You guys check us out. We'll be talking Vince retiring from WWE suddenly. All right.
Peace out.